Hi everyone, welcome to Good Morning Toowoomba with Ben Apsey and...
I'm Daryl Nicholson, Toowoomba 4358 TV, more than just a postcode on this glorious Friday, the 2nd of October in the year 2020. So low of 12 we had this morning, so didn't have to pull the doona up, mate.
Not too bad at all.
No,
and
it was quite good. High of 29 today.
Yeah, no jackets today.
And no rain. No rain, honestly, 0% chance of rain, so doesn't matter. Kevy could dance out there naked, it's not going to rain. So.
No. Perfect day to come down into the CBD of Toowoomba, check out Toowoomba City, the gateway to the west, visit some of the local businesses, check out the flowers before the carnival's over and holidays are over. Long weekend though.
Are you still saying the carnival's on? It did finish last Sunday, didn't it?
The flowers are still blooming.
The flowers are still blooming, okay, fair enough.
The rest, some of the CBD businesses are still in carnival mode.
Well, they've still got all the flowers on the window. I went for a walk around this morning at 5 o'clock this morning, and there was some shop displays I didn't even know were doing displays. So I got into Russell Street, into Margaret Street, the top end, went for a walk up Ruthven Street. It was very good. So good participation for everyone with the Chamber of Commerce thing. Mate, watched a bit of Netflix yesterday, Social Dilemma. I'm not going to close my Facebook accounts, but you can see about notifications like when our show starts, people get pinged that we're on, and we have got some followers that absolutely tune in each morning.
They wait for it and it gets up, or notification, so-and-so was live. Oh,
yeah, but there's no way I'm going to close my Facebook account or anything like that. I mean, it is... Look, I think we're tracked anyhow. If you've got a mobile phone, you're going to be tracked anyhow, so it's just more... If you were looking at, say, you typed a word weddings, bang, you'll just get all of a sudden ads about weddings, and they will get you engaged.
Interestingly, though, with that documentary, the difference between you saying climate change is, you might get climate change is real, and I might get climate change is a hoax if I type it in my search bar.
It all depends on different areas you're into.
Different areas, and it tracks. They build a profile, a digital profile of you as a person as to what your belief system is, and they target. And that's why all of a sudden with social media, we're not closer together. We are more divided in the political sphere, on issues like climate change, like racism. Especially down in Victoria at the moment. Is the lockdown good or bad? Well, you're on one side or the other. There's no in between, really, is there? And
they talked about cyberbullying and that. I mean, I was bullied at school up at Mount Lofty. I was a victim of being bullied. But also, they talked about girls with their body etiquette and that sort of thing. Look, we had magazines that did that to them anyhow, before we had social media.
Yes.
There were magazines, and there were men's magazines that probably, got us into a different light. So, and newspapers had, Murdoch, most powerful man in the world, with his political views, switching people and playing with people's minds. So it's been going on for ages. It's just we're in a different realm now.
And it's available at the click of a thumb.
And the algorithms now need, I do agree, the algorithms need to be pulled in and just...
I think it just highlights...
Not to play us.
I think the purpose of the documentary was to highlight the government's duty and responsibility to make sure that they're on the front foot, so that tech companies, just in general, not particularly just social media, but tech companies are being responsible with the data they're collecting about us.
Yep.
So, and someone even went so far as to suggest a tax. If you collect all this information about someone, well, we need to tax you on that, because that's information that could be used and could be hacked, like we've seen, with what's happening with coronavirus. China building this big list of 35,000 people, compromised, does this, political targets, that sort of stuff. Like cyber warfare can get access to that data. So, and that's where the government has to step in with legislation. So,
look, if you haven't seen it yet, do certainly watch Social Dilemma on Netflix. I am going to go and watch it again.
Very thought-provoking.
Oh, mate, and those...
I went through and I turned off a lot of my notifications.
Well, I'm about to drop some apps off my phone today. I'm going to look at some of the apps.
The iPhones, if you're not using the apps,
get rid of them.
They automatically disappear. So.
Oh right, okay.
So they go into
hibernation or something.
Well, they leave the tile there, but the actual app isn't on your phone anymore. So.
No, I'm definitely going through and dropping a few apps off today. So, mate, the Chronicles changed. They're not using the app anymore. They've gone into a web-based program now. So I had to log into the web page, so I'm still a subscriber. But I got a bit annoyed this morning because I had to log in. Every time I went in, I had to log in. And
teething issues. There'll always be teething issues with new systems.
But I was reading about today unveiling of a $175 million entertainment precinct for Wellcamp area, and David Cheng was talking about on ABC.
On the ABC News as well, and that's the state government looking at investing $40 million
into it.
I'm curious as to where they're getting the $40 million from. And
this is the current government.
Current Labor government.
Right.
So, and whether that commitment will still be there
after the election.
After the election.
That's what I'm curious about as well. So.
Because they committed last time to funding the Quarry Gardens, and we've seen none of that funding.
So that's going to be unveiled today from John Wagner. It's motorsports, driver training, entertainment complex, 40,000 seats. So, mate, I don't know. Bugger you, Alan Jones, John Wagner and the Wagners are doing a great job in this city, and I don't care what Alan Jones thinks, so they are doing a great job. So
they are. At least someone is.
Yeah, exactly. Alan Jones hasn't done much for Toowoomba, apart from go to grammar school. That's about all he can say. He's not the mayor. He's not a fan of the mayor, and he's not a fan of the Wagners. So that's my 2 cents worth there. Okay, 7 projects going through council, mate. Let's have a bit of a talk about... Oh, sorry, before then, Toowoomba Glennie School, they offered a helping hand to Drought Angels in Chinchilla, $3,366 in donations and quilts and a whole other range of stuff. So that's great. If we can see more of that stuff from our community going out there,
that's great. That's great to
excellent
see.
Work.
And
that's getting
like
kids involved.
School. Well, a lot of the borders would be from farming communities.
Yep.
And that's the same in... I mean, we've seen that with the borders closed.
Yep.
A lot of them trying to get home to where their parents are. And like as far as what I've heard, Canberra, people from Canberra that come here for boarding schools. So, the schools in Toowoomba are world class. Yeah,
definitely. Okay, 7 development applications going through council. 1, a new B&B out at Evergreen, so it's just a bit out of town. It's an old school, I think, that's been redeveloped, so that's going through council. Number 2 is a
grain facility.
A green facility to expand at a grain facility. Sorry, I'm writing like a doctor there, mate.
You are.
Grain facility to expand at Southbrook, so that'll be good for the Southbrook area. A childcare centre for Westbrook, and they're talking about a high school out there as well. So there's a bit going on out there.
Based on the West Toowoomba land use investigation study that was done, they're expecting to have 33,000 people move to the area of Westbrook.
Yeah, by 2050. 2050, yeah.
No provision for public transport.
Okay.
Because it's a state government issue. But council do have to actually fork out some of their own money to provide the infrastructure for buses, for corridors, for public transport to actually operate in. And that's all part of the planning scheme. It has to be provided for. But conveniently, there used to be a railway line straight through Westbrook all the way through connecting to Gary Junction. So why wouldn't you be asking the state government to rebuild that railway line and do a loop? So Wairima, through the Toowoomba City, out to Gary Junction, and then back through Westbrook.
Yeah, there's still a railway line out at Wairima,
The corridor's still there.
Yeah.
And conveniently, it also goes straight past where council want to build their big sports precinct in Charlton.
Okay, right.
Put a station right there. You don't have to worry about where you're going to park all those cars when they go to see a football match or a cricket match. They just catch a train.
Yep, no, excellent idea. Number 4 is a new plans for a library out at Highfields. Number 5, disability units have been looked at Wilsonton, out of the Wilsonton area. Number 6, subdivision plans for West. Oh, I can't even read my writing today. Isn't that terrible? It's been delayed.
Just be grateful he's not a doctor and he's not a doctor in particular.
Isn't that terrible? I can't read that. So there is subdivision plans for. No, can't read it. Delayed somewhere. Sorry about that. And Barry Bernol's new residential units up at Milne Street. That's exciting for that area there. That
residential units.
Yeah, residential units
in the CBD.
Yep. So
more of them, please.
Exactly. Isn't that terrible? I can't read my own writing.
And I think it just comes down to perhaps this is a chance. The PDA that's currently over where Bunnings is really not being used. No one's really taking advantage of it. Perhaps this is a chance for council to hand it back to the state government and say, you take care of that one, and we want one over the CBD. And that one over the CBD will then allow us to incentivise the demolition of buildings that are past their use by date and aren't of cultural heritage significance, to open up space, green space then, blank blocks of land to be able to build residential buildings on.
Yep.
And they can be designed in a way that fits with the character of the area. It's not to say that they're going to be just glass-clad high-rises. They are designed. And you look at places like Paris. I always use Paris as a good example.
Yeah, yep.
All the buildings there fit with the character.
Yep.
So,
Okay, and the next one I want to talk about, mate, vertical consumption
vertical consumption.
is happening today. Do you know what vertical consumption is?
Is that where I can finally stand up and drink a beer?
Kev's vertically...
Our studio audience is standing.
I'm vertically challenged, but vertical consumption. So now South Australia, you can drink while standing up, and they can dance now. This is crazy. The world's gone mad, hasn't it? But yeah, it's gone
We
crazy.
should get you the Dickie Knee type character for in front of the camera, Kev.
Yeah. So they're allowed to stand up and have a drink, and look.
But still, no dancing in the state of Queensland
No,
because
no.
Palaszczuk doesn't have a fun bone in her body.
No dance in Queensland. Mate, there was a shooting in Bribie Island. So if you are watching in Bribie Island and if you've got any information, police allege a man shot a woman and they're looking for him. So if you've got any information, please let
I'd be worried
police
if they
know.
weren't looking for him.
Well, they are turning Bribie Island upside down. So.
Oh, I imagine they would be.
Mate, the Aged Care Royal Commission quoted that there was government action was insufficient to properly for that sector to manage COVID-19. So, I think we've all worked that out. You had to have a Royal Commission to find that out.
It's not rocket science sometimes.
No, and look, I think more than ever now we need to keep people at home till 65 or even 70 before they go into a nursing home.
It's not rocket science down on the Gold Coast to look at it and go, there's massive congestion on the highway. What should we do about this? Oh, yeah. I know, smart idea. Let's build another highway so that we can create twice the amount of congestion with cars and environmental problems. No, just build a high-speed train. It's very, very simple. Yeah. More roads lead to more congestion.
Did you have a train set as a kid?
I definitely did. I actually had a model railway set as a kid.
Did you develop a high-speed rail train yourself?
No, it was a freight one. I do like the high-speed.
I
like trains, okay?
Yeah, he did high-speed rail. I did the Chaganaga Choo-Choo when I was younger.
That's why I'm really passionate about the guys out at Down Steam. I like what they're doing out there.
It's great work, absolutely great work.
And Pat Weir donated $500 earlier in the year to help with their curtains. So.
Okay, oh good. And mate, coming back, look, not even aged care. My cousin over in London, she's got cerebral palsy. She was born with CP. Anyhow, she's not in a home. She's actually got her own flat in London. She's got her own car, and she's got 2 or 3 employees. So the government pay her to live in a unit, to be able to drive around with the carers, and she has a payroll that she pays them. Why can't we do that more here in Australia? It's got to be certainly a lot cheaper than the aged care system we've got now, and even disability. Let's look at people with CP who are young. Well, do they need to go into old people's nursing homes?
They do.
No, they don't.
Well, they don't, but they do currently.
That's what I'm trying to say. They need more support at home.
Interestingly, a lot of people when they retire, it's actually cheaper to go on a world cruise than it is to go into a nursing home.
Yeah, I've read that. I've heard that. Yeah, and people were doing that. I don't know whether there's still cruise ships.
Probably not so much now.
No, not now. No, mate, bit scary.
But I guess it highlights. Would you rather be on a cruise ship or in a nursing home?
I'd rather be on a cruise ship.
I'd much rather be on a cruise ship enjoying myself than in a nursing home.
That's right. What's he going to say over here?
No, studio audience. Peanut Gallo is meant to be silent, please.
And if you do want to come down and see the show, we're down at Travel Mugs each morning. Come down and see us here. Mate, in Melbourne, there's a bit of a scare. Chadstone Shopping Centre, there's an outbreak in Chadstone. 7 or 8 people, so they're asking people in Chadstone, if you feel like you got a runny nose or a dry cough, go and get a COVID test. So let's hope it doesn't get out of control there again. Do you want to go and get that guy COVID tested? So, so let's hope it does.
I'll keep my comments to myself, I think, there.
And in international news, I've only got one bit of international news. I was talking to Paula. I was asking her about her mum and dad in Spain. Spain is still going through a lot of shit, to be quite honest. There's still a lot going on there. But the UK's locked down 10 o'clock. Pubs and and hotels, entertainment precinct has to be closed down and everyone has to go home.
Interestingly, international news, I don't know if we've talked about this, but the US coming out and saying, the presidential debate will ban imports from Brazil.
Right.
Brazil is one of the largest countries that exports coffee. So good luck, America. I'd love to see you ban imports from Brazil because you're all effed without your coffee, I can imagine.
That's right.
We'll happily take it over here in Australia because, as we all know, Australians make better coffee than the Americans anyway.
That's right.
And I'm very happy to challenge them on that. So.
The Americans do more filtered coffee than that Roadhouse stuff.
You can't even really call it coffee.
Yeah. It's McDonald's coffee from the 70s and 80s.
What the Americans make is poison compared to our amazing coffee in Australia.
Yep. And don't forget, if you're looking for good coffee,
the studio audience says it's sugary crap.
Fish River Roasters coffee down here at Travel Mugs at 172
Margaret Street.
Next to Sofra's.
A lot of businesses at 172 Margaret Street now.
Yeah, there is.
But yes, if you want to come down, you can try the Fish River Roasters coffee. It's a great blend, comes out of Bathurst down in New South Wales. They roast it down there. But if you want to buy a bag of beans, we've got them for sale as well. So.
Yep. Cool, mate. Look, we better go. The producer's doing the wind-up again. He's got another live stream to do today.
He does
so
today,
he's got to get cracking, so we'll wrap up. I'm Daryl Nicholson. Look, have a great weekend. I've got nothing planned for the weekend unless we do. We might do a recording today, actually.
We're going to do it on air. So.
After Luke goes.
On air will be out.
And on air, we better do that today and get it out for the weekend. But as far as GMT, the interview, sorry, I might do some repeats. Monday, we're going to do a show. It is a public holiday, so have a good long weekend. If you're on the roads, drive to the conditions. Don't drive like an idiot. We don't want to see you in a body bag or anything like that. Just please stay safe. I'm Daryl Nicholson, Toowoomba 4358 TV, more than just a postcode.
As always, remember to like and share us on Facebook. Check us out on our very boring Instagram, or jump on our YouTube
Your
channel
boring
and
Instagram.
subscribe.
Mine's good.
You don't have access to it, that's why.
4358 TV Instagram's pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe check his out, it's better. He actually puts stuff up. Thanks for joining us with Good Morning Toowoomba. I'm Ben Apsey.